Hi guys, Gaming Bear here. Right, today we're having a look at the premium FV4202P. Let's have a look and see what's on offer. Is this worth $34 or $33.99 of your money? You know, or across the pond, £23.92. So $34. Is this a $34 tank? So what else can you get for this amount of money? So let's have a look at the moment. So $34. £23. So what else have we got? So back to the rest of the vehicles. Come on, you know you want to. Right. £23 worth. What can you get? Actually, there's not a lot. You can get the CDC. You can get the Panther 88, the STA, not so good. You can get the Super Pershing, and you can get the 12244. Plus a little bit more, you can get the first prototype. So we're looking at there being quite a few options for this sort of money. You don't really want to go for this. This is, yeah, it's cheap for a reason. So you've got a lot of other tanks for similar sorts of money. The SU-12244, very good. The Super Pershing, very good. The Panther 88, very good. The STA, yeah. The first prototype, very good. The CDC, very good. Yeah, so those are in the same sort of ballpark. Let's just ignore this. Yeah, bye. And yeah, so let's get back to the tank. What can you do for this amount of money? Do you actually want a British tank for grinding your British crews? That's the only reason you really want to get it. Otherwise, there's so many other tanks which you can work to go with the lines that you're pushing at the moment. So really, only if you're pushing the FV4202 and the British medium line do you want to go for this. So otherwise, you've got so many other medium tanks on each of the lines that you can just go for. Like you got the CDC, you got the Russian line, you got the German line, and you got the American. So basically, you've got everything else covered with a whole selection of other tanks. So the FV is a bit superfluous. It's surplus to requirements unless you're doing the British line. If you're doing the British line, then it's what you've been waiting for, and that's the reason you want to go for this tank. So let's look at the tank itself. So for this amount of money, it's not a hellishly big price. So you could have got it for free, and with the updates they've done, is it worth it? So let's get in and have a look at that review of the tank. Those two options. Is it worth it? Let's have a look at the improvement to the vehicle. Gameplay guide. There we go. Right, it's been buffed. So let's check out what changes they've done. So the accuracy has been improved to 0.33 and the aim time has gone down to 2.3 seconds. Now that may not sound like a lot, but it definitely is. So since the original iteration of this that Quickie Baby checked and everyone else tested on the test server, this has had a significant buff. And I've got a feeling that the buff they've given it means that you don't actually need to run the special equipment. You don't need the enhanced aiming because it's so accurate and so good at aiming. So let's get in and test it actually out and carry on with the review. Right, we got a first look at the new patch 9.14, the new FV4202, and the physics. So let's just get in. So where are we? Let's have a look. I should have, as I purchased a new tank. There we go. So we've now got the FV4202. Let's have a look. So, oh, it's going to be on the British line. Let's have a look. FV4202. First look at this bad boy. There we go. 4202P. Ooh, very nice. Yeah, still looks as bad as the other one. And there's the update. So I'll just add after this the update changes with the new patch and what they've done to this. So I'll put that in a minute. Right, with those changes in place, the tank is that little bit more accurate on the move. Very, very nice. So top speed 35, traverse speed like that. I'm going to get a different crew in. 50% is just not quite good enough. You know, you don't want to be playing a tier 8 with a 50% crew. So I'm going to get this kitted up, but it's a really, really nice looking model. Absolutely gorgeous. One thing I hate is having to put camo on it because it ruins the lines. I wish Wargaming had the option of just clicking a button. Yes, it's got the camo, but you can still see the model. And that's something I'd like to be able to do, is to have the naked unadulterated tank in the garage, so you can look at the nuts and grooves and bolts and scrapes of every vehicle, because they're just pretty, you know. So yeah, let's look at some of the stats. So what we've got detail wise: 1400 hit points, armor 50, 50, 31. Not very good on the whole. But you've got some side skirts, and we'll have a look at this new incarnation in Tank Inspector. The turret itself is very slopey and bouncy, 170mm, and we'll look at the angles and check it all out. The gun itself, you've got a tier 9 gun. Penetration, well, the 105mm with the 20-pounder, and, sorry, 83.4mm, so rate of fire 7.5 rounds a minute, 226 with standard armor piercing, and APCR 258mm of pen, 42mm with standard HE, so none of the special HESH. That's something that this hasn't got. Accuracy 0.33. On the move, aim time 2.3 seconds. Very, very nice. So this is a very accurate gun, the Type B 20-pounder gun. Very, very nice for this tier 8 tank. So I'm going to get this kitted out and we'll see what it's like to actually play. Right, just transfer the crew out of the AX. So this is how the FV looks at the moment. Very similar to the Citroen AX. Centurion! It's not French. So the Centurion Action X. I've moved the crew out. Let's stick that crew back in the tier 8. So let's get rid of him. So let's have a look. Commander there. That guy. Come on, you know you want to. Yeah, nearly there. There we go. So we've got the full tier 10 crew in, ready to rock and roll. I'll just get some equipment on, put some camo. Let's have a look. Nice camo. I like this camo. I cannot lie. Yeah, that looks good. And do we want Dazzle? Oh my god, should I go with Dazzle? Normally, I do the long-range desert patrol. Oh, that's going to be so in your face. Oh god, do I really want to? I can always change it. Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah, right. Oops, that could be a bad mistake, but hey. Well, it didn't work in practice, and I may well have to buy the long-range desert patrol camo after this. Oh goodness, and it's the one it's showing. Right, I'll just put some kit on, and we'll get into a game. Okay, so we've got the 4202. What are we going to compare it to? As it's a Ridgeline Warrior, we want to compare it to another one. So a good one is the Type 59. Not everyone's got one, and not everyone has got one in gold. So this is my Type 59. Yeah, so let's get into that review and compare these Ridgeline Warriors against each other. Okay, the DPM of the two vehicles almost identical. 1798, 1798. The FV has got the edge just slightly. Penetration, well, Alpha, the 59's got it. The penetration on the FV is much better, 45 more with the FV than the Type. Very, very good. Aim speed, 2.21 seconds, very, very good. The stats said that it's actually 2.3, but in real terms it's 2.21. The same as the dispersion. It's supposedly been modded to 0.33, but it's actually in reality 0.32, so it's much better than it was in its previous incarnation. So the review that Quickie Baby did was accurate at the time, but they've buffed it significantly since then to allow them to sell the vehicle. So that's why they're doing it this way. It's not aiming like a heavy tank. It's now aiming like a medium tank, the way that it should have been in the first place. So dispersion and aim time, very, very good. So you don't need the vert stabs to be able to run this properly. So let's have a look. So shell velocity, 1020 or 1.02 kilometers a second, very fast. The type is 900 meters a second, still good, but the FV means that you don't have to lead the target so much, and the punchiness of the gun, very, very good. Ammo capacity, 50 rounds, so you can actually dominate the battle by lasting longer and taking out more of your opponents, so that's a big plus with this. The top speed is a significant minus, so 35 kmh, not good in comparison to the 56 of the Type 59. It can mosey around the battlefield very nicely, and the power to weight ratio of this tank isn't very good, so 12.34 is not very good compared to the 14.56 of the Type. So the Type can get around much faster, more easily, and get up to that top speed, but you're thinking without the resistances. This has been buffed on the resistances. They've been reduced, so this can actually get up to 35 kph in spite of the lowered power to weight ratio, and allow it to work properly on the battlefield. So 0.38 on hard terrain, 0.48 on medium, and 0.96. Basically, it's half of anything else in the game. It's really, it's one of the best I've seen on any single tank. So they've done this to allow it to actually, so it's not a stick in the mud. It can actually work well in mud. It can use that power to get to the top speed very quickly, as we'll show you in the replay. Now, the gun itself, gun elevation 20 degrees, very good, but the gun depression, the Type 59's got 7, which isn't bad, and in comparison to other Russians and Chinese, it's about the best you'll get, which is one reason why they took it out. The gun depression of 10 degrees, very good, so that's in the favour of the FV. Gun traverse 40 degrees, very, very good. Turret traverse, not so hot, 37.5 degrees. So yeah, it's a little bit slower than the 59, but it's workable. Now the hull armor, this is where it loses out. You don't want to show your hull armor to anybody, but angling it properly with the turret, that 170 mil of armor can work, whereas the Type can just bounce things. It can just sit there and bounce shots all day. And that's one thing the Type has got, that the FV has to be angled correctly, and otherwise you're in trouble, and we'll have a look at that in the 3D model in a minute. Health wise, it's 100 more, so that's really nice. The engine is tougher, and the way it regenerates health after it's been damaged is much better than the Type. The track health, the track's not quite so good on the FV, but it's still quite tough, and it regenerates not quite as well as the Type 59, but still very good. The ammo rack, even though it's got big ammo racks, it's less likely to be ammo racked than some other tanks with 220 hit points that it has to take before it's taken out. So that's better than the Type, and it regenerates health faster as well, which is really good. The view range, it's got this ahead of the Type as well. So 390 meter view range, very, very good. And radio range, usually it's not significant, but it's about 160 better than the Type, so very, very good. But one aspect that's a problem is the 20% chance of catching fire. So it's, well, you have to run fire extinguisher just in case, because this is likely to just go up like a Ronson. So let's have a look at those the 3D model and compare the vehicles. So let's have a look. You're looking down over a ridge, angling the tank and bringing the gun to bear. So firing over the side, you've got the side skirts. This is what your enemy will see. Looking up the side skirts, basically, if it's got a very punchy gun, so if it can't penetrate itself, you know that its opponents, like the Type, wouldn't be able to penetrate it. So the armor from here would just, the side skirts and the tracks would just absorb the shots. So this is basically you don't want to be shot. Well, if you're shot, it's disappeared, you are safe. The front plate from here is a ricochet, 122 mil effective, but it's 80 degrees, so it's an auto bounce. Right the way across, so you're safe. So it then comes to the turret. The lower plate you're not going to see. It's the equivalent of 76mm. It would go in, but they're not going to see it if you've angled properly. If someone shoots your lower plate, you're not playing it right, and well, it's your own fault, yeah? So, looking up at the turret, from here, you're poking over that accurate gun, move, fire, pull back. Don't give them chance to get a bead on you. Around the gun is a weak area here, which is a flat area, 115mm, which you can be penetrated at the cheeks both sides. On the outside of that, it's a bounce zone, 230mm of equivalent armour because of the angling and sloping, which goes then to about 198, 205, 220, but outside this section, the cheeks are weaker, so you could be penetrated, and the same here. So you've got this very tough, a weak area, tougher area, and then a weaker area outside. So it's patchy armour equivalent, but if you're firing over, the forehead of this is very bouncy. 73mm of angling will bounce anything. 210mm of equivalent armour, but because of the 70 plus degrees of sloping, it will bounce shot anything that's coming in. So if they're firing in this general direction, I would say it's a 50% chance of it not penetrating, but that's using its own gun. So we can't change. So its own gun is incredibly good. If you're looking at the type probably wouldn't even be able to pen because it's not got the punchiness to be able to get through this amount of armour. So you can withstand it, and there's the accuracy penalty that the type would have, because he wouldn't be able to aim. He'd just fire a shot in this general direction and hope. So that will negate the chance of him penetrating you while you've got a shot in on him. With this gun, 220 will penetrate him anywhere all day, as long as it's not more than the 70-degree angle. And the premium 258mm of pen will go straight through the type just about anywhere all day. So one-on-one, this would win out in a ridge battle against the type. So let's get on with that review. Right, so looking between those two vehicles, we're back in the garage. Let's see how the Type 59 is actually set up. So this is what we're up against. We've got this has to have vert stabs, plus vents, plus a rammer. So the armor's fantastic. You know, I've done the reviews on this. Front plate really bouncy, the turret especially. So let's get back to the FV and get it kitted out in a similar fashion. There we go, FV. Put some kit on. So, gun rammer. We don't need vert stabs, so gun rammer. Plus, we're going to put vents. There we go, 150,000. Nice price. Very, very nice indeed. What else will we need? So, 390 meter view range. We're going to be moving all the time. Let's go for coated optics. One thing I want this to be able to do is spot everything it can on the battlefield. Right, ammo. We don't need a lot of premium. Let's go down to 4 shots of HE. Put that down to 30. Which again give us 16 plus a bit of equipment. So let's have a look. Well, we need fire extinguishers, like I was saying. Large repair kit and first aid kit. So let's just get these set up on standard. There we go. Right, we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, the tank is fully set up. We've done the comparisons with the type, so it would be time to get into a game. But because the review is taking so long, and 45 to 50 minutes would be too much to ask of anybody. So I'm going to get into the gameplay and then do the final conclusions in the second video, which is going to be linked. So thank you for watching. I'm the Gaming Bear. This is the first part of the FV4202, and click to follow through to the next part where we're going to do the gameplay conclusions plus the addition of looking at the FV4202, how it was at tier 10 with gameplay showing what the tank used to do. So I'm the Gaming Bear. This is the FV4202, so click on the link, and I'll see you in a minute. Cheers, guys.